What's going on, good people? Welcome to another edition of Palace News. I'm your host, T. I'll be dolo on this one, but I got y'all with me, so we all good. Could it be a new contract for Chieck Doucoure? Looks like we got Rak-Sakyi back in action. We're going to talk about it in just 1 second. Palace News. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to whoever, wherever you are. It's your host, T, man. Back to you guys with another uh, episode of the Palace News Show, man. Back in the nest, you know how we get down, you know how we roll, man. Happy to have you all here with us, tuning in live. Know it might be a little bit late for my UK people, but hopefully you guys might have stayed up just a little bit later to tap in with us. Shout out to everybody in the chat. What's up, Palace Hunter? Andy Mack, what's going on, man? Kahindi, what's going on? How you doing, man? Hey, so we are back for another one, man. Big up, Dave. What's up, man? Back for another one. This will be a shorter one, just because not as much to talk about, not as much going on, but some good stuff. Things that we definitely want to highlight, talk about things that could potentially make a big difference for us in our future, and hopefully in the immediacy of what we got going on. But let's start with our first story, and that one comes from Edmund Brack, and he reports that Chieck Doucoure and Palace are now entering into talks for a new contract to not only what we will be more than likely an extension, but also a bump up in his pay and probably a bump up in his buyout clause. I would hope too. Now, as you all know, this is only year 2 with us for Chieck, and I think he might have signed about a 5-year contract. I can't really recall. It was either 4 or 5 years, so he's still got 2-3 years left with us. But this is news is coming out that we're looking to not only extend but also fatten up his pockets a little bit, make the deal a little bit better, and do things so that we can help ourselves with having probably a higher release fee for him, release clause in his contract. So me personally, I think it's fantastic, great business. Similar to what we've seen already with Elise and with Eze. It's good business. It's good business. And funny enough, not something that I would say about Palace lately, at least. But this particular thing is good business. Kenny says, "Do you think Palace will get any players in the January summer window?" We're gonna save that. So I'm gonna start at right now, Kahindi, and we'll talk about that once we get through some of these topics. But speaking specifically to the business that we're talking about, if you're not going to bring in new players, if for us getting new players is an issue, at least hang on to the good, talented, potentially expensive young ones that we have. At least with protecting their values and increasing their values with their play on the pitch, it ensures that when the time comes for those players to negotiate with other teams and go other places, at least we'll be compensated properly for guys like Elise, for guys like Ezer, and now hopefully for a guy like Chieck Doucoure. We're talking about guys that are integral to our squad right now, that are young guys, that are supremely talented professional players. So you see it with a lot of other clubs. One of the main things that they do is they protect the value of their players, and they protect the interests of the club. You look over, not saying that I'm comparing us to Barcelona, but Barcelona puts crazy amounts of value into their players, not necessarily ones that are fitting of those players, but value nonetheless, to where other people put on notice that, hey, these guys are young and talented, and we value them very highly. Now, I don't think anybody's going over there trying to pay $1 billion uh, transfer fees, but it's just the understanding that, hey, if you're gonna come, you got to come correct for our players. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the right way of looking at Pauls, by the way. But you know what I'm saying. Um, so I think it's good, man. Give me y'all opinion. Tap in with me in the chat. What do y'all think about the idea of Chieck Doucoure extending with us, and what does it mean? Do you all think it's just him, wanting to get his bump and his just dues with pay? Is he looking to stay with us long term? Is he setting himself up for what could come next? On twofold with how much you'll get paid and things like that. What do you all feel that will be coming from a move like this with Chieck Doucoure? Me personally, I think it works both ways. I think it's in the event that it happens. Let me not be remiss to say this is a report that's come out that may have legs, may not, but every time we've seen these type of reports, and honestly, out of a lot of the reporters that put things out, Edmund Brack is a very, very reliable one. I mean, he's there in the press conferences week in and week out. He seems to have some pretty reliable intel and information. So when these types of things come out from a guy like Edmund about possible contract negotiations, whether it was Elise, whether it was Ezer, I think they came to fruition, they came true. It makes you think though, and if this is true, that's another one that we knock off the list of getting them extended and ensuring their values through things like release clauses. I mean, after him, I feel like the next in line has to be Mark Gabe. Am I right? I mean, y'all let me know. I mean, you got to get him taken care of. You know what I mean? Because right now, as far as interest from other clubs, I mean, I feel like Gay's probably, him and Elise are like very at the very top of probably the interest pile. So I think we need to make sure that we're communicating with him and we're trying to get that taken care of because I mean, I think that dude's gonna be England's captain soon. Like I think he'll be the captain of that team very, very soon. Let's see here. Ben Stinker says, think Chieck has 3 seasons left. Okay. But does he have a release clause at the moment? Very good question, Ben Stinker. So like I knew that he was either 2 or 3 years left on that contract. I haven't seen any talk of what a release clause looks like for him. And that might be one of the reasons why we're going into these negotiations, to make sure that we are getting something in place that can ensure at the very least a certain amount that we'll be receiving for him in the event that we have to lose him. I think that's just, like I said, once again, not necessarily something that you always say about Palace, but it's good business. It's a smart business. So thinking about making sure that, even if it's to keep it the same amount of years, but to maybe give him a pay bump per week, per year, along with establishing a release clause. I think that would be great, even if we don't get any extra years on the contract, which if this happens, I'm sure we'll see at least one more year. You know what I mean? To push it to 4, because then if you push it to 4, that allows us to, then maybe command a little bit more money too. So who knows? But I would hope that he has a release clause. What would another question for you all? What would the release clause be for a guy like Chieck Doucoure? What do you all think would be an amount that would be suitable to see him walk? Like, how much would you all need to see from a purchase of Chieck Doucoure with the buy clause? How much would that need to be? How much would you all need to see him go for in order to leave Palace? For me personally, I'd probably, and thinking about the market and what we've seen from other high-level defensive midfielders, I'm probably thinking like 50. Thinking like maybe 50 or 60. Yeah. Andy says 60. Kzo's at 50 plus. Yeah, I like that. Exactly. Andy says, yeah, a pay rise will put off smaller teams. There you go. So So that one piece, that weekly pay raise will take a lot of teams off the board with that exactly. So between that and then what we would probably do with a release fee, a release clause, uh, it's going to take a lot of teams off the board, and that's probably good for Chieck, because Chieck probably wants to make a step up with his next team and not a lateral move. I could definitely see that. So Kayla says, yeah, we definitely need him back from injury for sure, man. I mean, we got guys that are stepping in doing big things. I mean, shout out to Chris Richards doing what he needs to do. But yeah, we definitely sorely miss him. Have you guys seen our transfer targets? Man, what transfer targets, man? I seen rumors. I seen, oh, we're gonna there. Palace is interested in Eddie Nketiah. Bro, we're not paying 30 million for Eddie Nketiah. Are you serious? I think the most we spent uh in a winter window the last like 5 years is like $12 million, something like that. Like that, I don't see that one happening. We've been linked with a whole bunch of young center backs, which doesn't help us immediately with what we did. I mean, being the fact that you know we already brought in a center back last window, but that's neither here nor there. Leroy says 60 to 70. I would definitely take that, because yeah, it's a highly valued position. We all know that having an elite level central defensive midfielder means a lot right now in modern football. So apparently Jack Clark and that Irish bloke. Yeah, Jack Clark being rumored with us again. I think they're putting him around 20 million. I think they also threw in the likes of Tottenham and Wolves being interested. Wolves have been interested in a lot of guys we've been interested in. Stuff about Hugo Ekitike was out there too. So, who knows? I mean, I'll take Jack Clark. I mean, he seems like he's a really good player, but I don't think we're going to pay 20 million for anybody right now, especially in the window. I don't see it happening. If we get ESR, which would be dope, I think would be a really good move for him. I mean, he's a South London kid. I think that'll be a loan. Now the question is, if you get ESR on loan, will they give us a buy option or a buy obligation? Will it come with that? I don't know. If it's a straight loan, it becomes less attractive for me personally because it doesn't allow us to build. But we'll see. We'll see. So, and then so what we're gonna do and move on to the next topic, and this one also comes from Edmund Brack, and it is not any news on the contractual or transfer side, but it is very, very, very important news for us as Palace fans. It's the return of Jezrin Rak-Sakyi. As you all know, Jez went down with a hamstring injury late last year, and it's put him out for some weeks prior to now. But Edmund Brack does report that he is set to return to full training following a hamstring injury that he picked up in November. Rak-Sakyi could be in contention to return to Roy Hodgson's matchday squad for the Premier League clash at Arsenal on January the 20th. And what that means, if you're reading between the lines and matter of fact, on the lines too, that means that he won't be back for the Everton clash on the 17th. So the FA Cup tie replay that we're having with Everton down at Goodison will take place on the 17th. And so from Edmund Brack's report, it sounds like Jez is going to be back full training, but he won't be back for that match. Unfortunate to hear, because I think a cup match would be really good for Jez to have a chance to get out there and actually play, get some minutes. I don't see it happening for him as much against Arsenal, to be honest with you. But who knows? I mean, here we sit, January the 12th. We still got 5 more days until that match happens. And in the meantime, they'll probably train tomorrow. And then maybe there'll be 1 or 2 more training sessions prior to that match on the 17th. So I don't know, man. Fingers crossed. Maybe we could see Jez out there for the FA Cup match, and that'd be big for us. because of the fact that the news that came out with Elise having done his hamstring himself, and he'll be out for a little while, which sounds like he'll be out maybe until February with what he's dealing with. Having Jez back and being able to slide in on that right side and play good minutes, especially, hear me out, especially because you lose Elise, right? And we also don't have Jordan Ayew right now because of AFCON. So that's two wingers that we're down. So getting Jez back is actually really, really huge for us. The question is, though, and I guess the question always is, will Roy play him? What do you guys think? Do you think with being down Elise and not having Ayew, do you think that Hodgson will actually play Jez? I mean, because right now, what we could end up seeing, and this is God willing and the creek don't rise, we could see Jez on the right wing, and we could possibly see maybe Franca on the left. Of course, my thing is I think he'll probably play Schlupp on the left over Franca, but I don't know what he does on the right because he doesn't have Ayew, he doesn't have Elise. So who does he put out there if he doesn't play Jez? You know what I mean? Andy Mack says Jez is great for the future. He may not be Elise, but he will have the right side before long. Yeah, I mean, if he develops the way you want him to and you end up getting big money for a guy like Elise, you have a ready-made replacement for him, and then you could spend that money in other places where there's more need, whether it be starting caliber players, building depth, what have you. Colin, what's up, man? Big up, bro. What's going on? How you doing? Yep, Schlupp. Schlupp's going to be in there. As long as Schlupp is healthy, Schlupp's going to find a way. Gee whiz. Dave says no, he's not going to play Jez. Yep. No way. Let Elise go to United, ruin his career. No, I don't think that's going to happen. There was rumors of them offering Wan-Bissaka. I don't know how concrete that is or not. Hodgson doesn't rate Jez. He loves Schlupp, though. Exactly. I mean, and that's tough. But here's the thing. Schlupp can't play on the right. Schlupp can play on the left because he's left-footed. And he's not good with his right foot at all. So Schlupp is a traditional left-sided player. So with that right side, like I said, without having Elise, who's a right winger, without having Ayew, who can play both and has played a significant amount of time on our right side, without having those two, I mean, I think Jez is your guy. Like, I think Jez is the guy. Now, the thing is, he's coming off an injury, so therefore you don't want to do what he did with Elise and just start playing him 90 minutes after 90 minutes after 90 minutes. But, if Elise goes to United, career will be over. Franca needs to play. I agree with both. Roy only plays the youngsters if there's an injury. They never play on merit. Franca only started against Everton because Ayew and Elise were missing. Supergirl Titan, you're 100% correct. And this is, matter of fact, this is the thing that I always campaign on when it comes to this topic, because you're going to have Palace fans that are going to say, well, Roy's responsible for Tyrick Mitchell's debut. He's responsible for Aaron Wan-Bissaka's debut, blah, blah, blah. No, he's not responsible for it. Injuries are responsible for it. He wouldn't play Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He wouldn't play Tyrick Mitchell until what? Injuries happen, and he was forced to play them. Like, a manager shouldn't get credit for the debut and the breaking of a young guy if he had to do it. Like, it's not like you were seeing the future, seeing him in training, saying that kid's got something. He's got some greatness in him. He needs his opportunity to be out there starting. No, you're playing old guys. Old guys got hurt. And you didn't have any choice but to play him. Luke says Roy out. I stand on that from back last season. When they decided to bring him back for those 10 matches, I said that's all he needs to have. Let that man leave after those 10 matches. He did really well in those 10 matches. Let him go. Because the minute that they sign him for another year, stuff is going to go bad the next year. At some point, it's going to happen. And when it does, people are going to turn on him. And then everything that he did so well last season for us, coming in after replacing Vieira, all of that, all those good times and the love story that was created or recreated, should I say, goes away because nobody cares about what he did last year. Nobody really cares. Now, all they care about is the fact that they're pissed off on seeing what he's doing and they're ready for a change. So now all that mystique and the love affair that we could have had for him and doing what he did at the end of the season, it's not there anymore. I think they should have just let him leave, but we were lazy, trying to cut corners with money, and it's just not the move. Evan makes a very good point here. Now, the only thing that kind of holds us back is how is Edouard's recovery coming? I know he's coming off an injury. We don't know how well he's been recovering, but at least he's been healthy and been in training. So with that, so does Edouard play on the right then, Evan? Does he play on the right for you? Haven't seen him play there yet. We've seen him play on the left. We have not seen him play on the right. So it makes me wonder what happens with that. So if that happens and they start those guys, maybe he takes a wing, and at that point we're definitely at a disadvantage because we've got two guys that aren't truly wingers playing on our wings, and one of them isn't even used to playing on that side. So we'll see. I can't comment on this. I won't comment on it. Hopefully not. Exactly. Mitchell played because PBA and Schlupp were hurt. Point blank, period. Yeah, I mean, for us to this point, and I think in his career prior, when he wasn't at striker. What's up, Biggie?
What's going on? What's going on, man? I
What's going
saw.
on, man?
I literally, as you can see, I'm on my bed. I literally just came home. And I just sorting everything out because I couldn't sort it out. But I saw the phone ring and I thought, like, let me just jump in, man. Let me just jump in before.
Right on.
So you're juggling two things at the same time. What's
Yeah,
going on, man? I've seen your talks about the Corey. I've seen Schlupp being mentioned. What's going on, people? What's going on, chat? As always, thank you
yeah, man.
to
Chet's
UT
got some good stuff.
jumping
We were
on.
talking about the fact that with it started because naturally the discussion about Jez and him coming back, but then the fact that does he slot right in for you? Because we don't have Elise, we don't
Mm.
have IU. So
The
who
question is, who do we have?
we have
That's the
we have
question.
Schlupp. I mean, we have Schlupp.
But we don't have Schlupp down the right hand side.
Right down the right hand side, you got him and you got Jez and Malcolm Ebue.
Well, yeah. Then I think your answer's there. I think Jez does come into the side if Elise isn't fit. But then again, for me, I know some people will disagree with me, and I think this is more personal rather than logic. But I would like to see, as much as the Everton game is important now because of the draw, that draw is favourable for us.
Yeah, very much so.
And we could go to the next round. You could have Luton or Bolton, and then what? You're one win away from going to Wembley potentially. Like
Right.
the
Like, what are we talking
the
about here?
it can the season can just change like that.
Not to
So
mention,
I think we
not
need
to
to take
mention the
both
fact,
games seriously.
yeah, not to mention the fact that with the way the draws went, I think there are four Premier League versus Premier League matchups. So four Prem teams are
Tottenham, Man
going
City are
out.
facing each other, so one of them going to be out as well.
Four,
So
four,
look, we
four, four Prem teams are going to be
mm,
out. We know that
we
for
have to
sure.
yeah we have to take the Everton game seriously as well as the Arsenal game as well because
Facts.
Arsenal, they haven't been that great recently. I think they got one win in seven. They've been
Right.
creating a lot of chances, but they haven't been able to finish it off. I
Right.
know that we could frustrate them with our defense as well. So I think both games we need to take it seriously. Now, for me, Elise, I wouldn't be surprised if he's back sooner rather than later. Now he might not be back for the Everton game, but I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow plays the Arsenal game. Look, we've had the winter break. I think the players only returned to training today.
Mm-hmm.
So they've had a bit of a break there as well. And Elise, what he got injured, it's going to be 3 weeks ago when the Arsenal
3
game
weeks.
happens because, of
Three
course, he
weeks.
didn't play in our previous cup tie against Everton as well. So it wouldn't be surprised me if Elise is back. But then again, the good option is that we have Jess as an option off the bench, which I suspect Roy will trust him more than Ibue
So
based on
here's my
history as well.
question for you. Here's my question for you,
Mm.
because if when we're referring to Edmund Brack's report, he said that Jez would be ready for Arsenal. He didn't
Yeah, but
say
then
he would
Roy
be
says a
ready
lot of
for
things.
Everton.
Roy, yeah, Roy says a lot of things. Even Elise, like we rushed him back, and I don't think that will change. I think we'll still rush him back for the Arsenal game. Maybe not Everton game, but look, I want Elise to play in that game because it would be good to go and get a result. I mean, the Everton game was so boring. Even though we didn't lose, it felt like we was playing for a draw in our previous game. I'm trying to forget
Mhm.
about it because it's been like a winter break. We've had some time off, but
Right.
it was a very frustrating performance. But we're not in a position to kind of throw away games in the first place. But
Nah, not at all.
you know, I mean, what we got 3 wins in 18, 3 win in 18 games, which is shocking. Or 3 in 15 I count, but others account 3 in 18. I just looked at the 15 game mark,
Yeah.
so we have to win whatever game that we got available. If we're not winning, we have to pick up points. We have to just make sure we're going on like a little unbeaten streak. So the Arsenal game won't be easy, but then I would rest Elise for the Everton game and bring him for the Arsenal game, even though both games are significant. Because we need to try and get something like out of one of those 2 games and as well in the league. Because yes, it's been great that we picked up the 3 points against Brentford, but all it takes is 1 or 2 results for Luton, who are facing Burnley. Is it today?
Uh, they might be
Maybe I
actually.
should check it up. I think was it not today? Luton versus Burnley. I thought
Let
it
me
was
see.
today.
It might be.
Friday night. Yeah, it is. It's 1-1 right
Yep.
now. Oh, it
Yep.
finished 1-1. Oh,
We
Luton
finished one
scored in
off.
the
Yep.
92nd minute. Yeah, Luton scored in the 92nd minute. So that's a good result for us. Burnley were winning. So yeah, like all it takes is one of those teams to win 1 or 2 games, and then boom, we're looking below us again. So yeah,
We're in a tough spot
yeah.
if,
So,
if
so
we're not
yeah, we
getting
need to take
close.
the Arsenal game seriously, and I do think the squad has got enough to pull something out of the bag, especially if they're missing that many chances as well. But yeah, look, Jez, good time for him to come back. Let's just see what actually happens with him.
Who do you feel like we're looking at our situation right now with with our squad? Come Everton, who's taking the pitch for you in that starting 11?
You go strong. You go as strong as possible. You go as strong as possible. Literally. For me, you still play Gay, Anderson, and all those players, and
Yeah, right.
attack you. You can't we can't really rotate. I mean, we're away from home. We had the opportunity maybe at home, but away from home, it's going to be a difficult task, right? So we just have to make sure that we put our best midfield out there, best attackers. And when you talk about best midfield, maybe that is Ozo. I don't
I'm
want to
gonna
see
say,
Will
is it
Hughes.
also
I don't want to see
is it
Will
Lerma
Hughes.
Richards?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I don't want to see Will Hughes play as like a number 10. So
no way,
that
absolutely not,
yeah,
because
you get it.
we're gonna have the same problem we had in the first matches that we're not gonna score any goals.
Yeah, 100%. So we go strong. We go strong in both games. Look, we've had a bit of a rest, man. Look, we've had a bit of a rest. We can't just throw away games. And as I said, we need to pick up wins as much as we can. So the Everton game is as significant as the Arsenal game in my eyes. It's not like we've had like, well, of course it's back to back games, right? It is back to
Right.
back games. But what we need to make sure that we do is that we take both games seriously. We have to take both games seriously. Yeah.
For
What
me, I
about for
think
you?
for me, I mean, I agree with you. Like
No.
on all fronts, like we have to go strong. We have to. Um, and I guess it makes me wonder what that looks like and how much guys are playing. For me, guys like Ozo, Rak-Sakyi, um, França, um, like those guys got to get minutes. Hamada, those guys got to get minutes. They got to play. They got to play minutes,
Yeah.
man. Like even if it's not starting for some of them,
Hamada went. He played down the right hand side, which I don't think that suited his position. But the most France, for example, France has to play as well. France has
he's
to play,
got to.
but
He's
not
got
down
to,
the
man.
right, down the left, down the left. I think that was so harsh on him. Yes, he's a professional, but he
But that's it was harsh on him. I'm going to try to finish his sentence here. It's harsh on him, but that's not his position.
just cut out.
Oh, it's good.
I'm
Yeah.
back.
So I think you say it was
Yeah,
harsh on him, but it's not
someone
his
called me.
position.
This is the problem with doing it on the phone. But yeah, France has to play down the left because he's
Yeah.
not he hasn't played down the right before the Everton game. He's not a right-sided player, and if you want to see best out of him, play him down the left. Even then, I mean, France subbing him off was the wrong decision because I think we
Yep.
got worse. I
And
think
then
we
I
got
think part
worse,
of it
even
too,
though
like
that's not his best position.
we playing. I think playing França on the left, which I know is something he's more comfortable with, and then playing Eze in that more advanced midfielder role, letting them get closer to one another, playing together, playing off of each other. Like you need those creative type players. Like think about what França did for us. He put he did a lot of good things, drew fouls in really great places for us. When you got guys like him out there along with guys like Eze that can play creative, that can make
Eze
things
needs to step
happen.
up though, T. Eze
He
needs to
does.
step up. He needs to step
100%.
up. He's not being himself. We talked about maybe it's injuries, it might be tiredness, this and that. We've had a bit of a break here, and if he's not fit to play, then just don't play him because, like, what game was it that he scored a goal? Him and Elise. It was a Brentford game, right?
That was Brentford. Yep,
Yeah,
Brentford.
like if I look at his performance overall, despite him scoring a goal, I don't think he had a great performance then. Like
Yeah,
Eze hasn't been the normal Eze that we see. So
was
we need to
definitely
stop
the highlight of
forcing
things for
Eze.
him.
It's not
Hmm.
working. It's not
Yeah,
working. So we've rested him now. We've had a bit of a break, few weeks break. If
yeah.
he's not 100%, then rest him for the Everton game and then maybe play Hamada there. But for the Arsenal game, we go all out. We go strong because as much as I want to see a cup run, I think it's favourable as well. That we should take both serious. For me, the league still edges it in terms of priority than the FA Cup right now. Even because even if we play Eze, I don't think he'll be guaranteed result. You get it? So yeah, I'll probably rest him for that game.
If I could give you an FA Cup final appearance,
Mhm.
or maybe even an FA Cup championship with
Bro, we're talking about FA Cup final.
with us
Let's be
fighting
Everton first, and then we
relegation.
can talk about. Let's be Everton, and then we'll
I'm
probably
just
end up
saying,
losing to Bolton.
I'm just saying, like, would you take that in fighting relegation all in one?
If we're fighting relegation, not getting relegated, 100%. But the problem is, it's not as black and white as that. I mean, we saw it before the Brentford game. What, 2 points away from Luton, 3 points away from Luton.
Yep,
So all
yep,
it took is one win for Luton to
right.
reach us. So, look, the Everton game, even if we do rotate it, I do have faith in the players to try and produce something. And as I said, if Eze is not 100% fit, he's not as effective anyway. So it's not like playing Eze guarantees a win. I'd rather rest him and bring him for the Arsenal game. That
I
extra few
mean,
days
and you
could help him.
could, if you decided to rest Eze, you could do something like put put Edward on the left, let França have that advanced that advanced midfield role, that advanced
Mm,
10 role in the middle.
mm.
You could
Potentially, but then look, you can do a few things. And Kyle says go all out for Everton. If you have to rest Eze at Arsenal, then it is what it is. I say the opposite. I'd rest him for a few days before the Arsenal game because that's extra rest for him, and then yeah, go from there.
I
Literally.
mean, if it means for me that França gets the middle position and we get to see Edward on the left, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
Like,
that you could work with that as well. Do you get it? We can, but then again, it all goes down to the manager, which
and
is
it's
again
not
what
like
I'm talking about.
and at the same time, just because we rest him and he doesn't start doesn't mean he won't play. Doesn't mean he won't impact the
Yeah,
match.
yeah, he can come off the bench if we need to. Do you
Yeah,
get it in the second
it's not
half
like he
for like
can't get
half an hour or so?
yeah, it's not like he can't get a half an hour and affect the match in the way that we need him to.
Yeah. What type of question is this? Europa League. Oh, sorry.
What's that?
Europa League and relegation. I mean, if we get Europa League, then how are we getting relegated? Maybe if we win the Europa League,
Because you get
then get
Europa
relegated.
League by do you get Europa by winning FA?
Yeah, I think so. FA is
Yeah,
Europa. Yeah,
yeah.
you have
So
to
so
win it.
basically he's saying
Before it
win
used
the
to be
FA
if you're
Cup.
in the
He's basically
final, then
saying win
finish
the FA
15th.
Cup and get relegated, or finish 17th and get nothing.
Finish 17 and get nothing because I think we've got bigger potential. Not with this ownership group, but hopefully we spoke about that the other day. What I spoke about, anyways.
And the reason
That
why
if
I,
the if the
and the reason
ownership group
why I
changes,
agree
I
with
think we
you,
can reach our potential of reaching these finals and doing more as well. So I'd
and the
rather
reason
just stay in
why
the
I
Premier League for
agree
now.
with you, the reason why I really agree with you with that right now is if we get relegated, we're gonna lose a lot of these guys that we have
Mm.
right now. We're gonna lose a ton of these players.
Yeah, we're
That
gonna
if
get
we
a
get,
ton of money, but
yeah,
yeah,
like
it's not
we'll
worth
get
it.
a. I mean, but and even that though, like if you're one of these guys, like you're Eze, you're Mark Gahey, all of them, if your team gets relegated, I feel like the amount of money that we can really ask for in a lot of ways goes down. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah, yeah,
saying?
yeah. There's that as well. There's that. Just don't well, honestly. Just
Don't get. I
both
mean,
things
my
can
thing
work.
is,
We can.
in my opinion, I think don't get relegated first and foremost,
Yeah, we
because
re.
then
Yeah,
we have guys that are under contract. We have Elise under contract. We have Eze under contract for long term time. You know what I'm saying?
hmm,
So that all goes to shit if we get relegated because we're going to lose those guys,
yeah,
and we're
yeah,
probably going to
yeah,
lose them for a lot less than we could have gotten for them. So
yeah, yeah. Just don't get relegated. Yeah,
yeah, so that would be
yeah.
my thing. But just looking at what it said, we're worth more to a buyer in the Premier League. Yep, and a manager is more likely to want to come. Facts, facts. And then Supergirl Titans, who had a great point earlier. D The worst part of this whole season is that every time France got the ball versus Everton, the crowd got excited, and 9 times out of 10, he did well. Yet Roy took him off after 7 minutes, and we got worse. Supergirl Titan, I don't know who you are, where you're from, how many times you tapped into this show, but at some point, you're going to need to come on and talk because you came up with two baller opinions here. So we might need to hear you out. But no, that's so valid. You got guys that are on the pitch making a difference over the time that they're out there, and yet you take them off and we play considerably worse. And you said it when you first got on, D, that taking off Franca when he did was not a good decision.
Yeah, yeah. T, I need to actually head out. If I don't know if you want to still go on or
Yeah,
not.
I'll probably just go on for a few more minutes here and
All right,
then,
cool,
and then
bro.
get
All
off.
right, cool, bro. I'll catch
Now
up
I
with you
appreciate you
after.
tapping
Take
in
care,
with me,
everyone in the
big
chat
bro.
as well. Catch
All
up
right,
with you
man.
lot soon. I'll see you later.
Peace. So yeah, Supergirl Titan, you're gonna have to come on to the show and talk, man. You even if you don't show your face, none of that. If you just want to like you coming up with some real good points, and we appreciate that. Red F says if we go down, we will lose a load of Academy boys too. Dude, that could be true as well. That could be very at the same time though. Let me play devil's advocate, Red. Let me play devil's advocate. Okay. Us going down might benefit our academy players. Well, the ones that are like the older guys, the guys that are more on the cusp, so like the U21 guys, because now we have to use them. Now we have to depend on them. You know what I mean? Like we get relegated, we start to lose, the more valuable guys on the squad. The more the more well-known, valuable guys, we lose those guys. And now we're playing in the championship against less competition and all those things, and money becomes a bigger issue for us, especially with us trying to build a stand right now, and we're getting relegated and losing money off balloon payments. So now we got to play those academy guys. We got those academy players now are going to become championship caliber guys. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they play for us. So I don't know. I think it'll go both ways. I think we will lose some guys. Don't get me wrong. I think we'll lose some guys, but I think it could also be a good thing for them because a lot of those guys have to step up and play. France was only getting 10 minute cameos in senior games, going from 10 to 70 minutes is a big step up. So if that was a plan, then it makes sense. That's a good point too. That's a good point too, Mitch. I mean, maybe that is it, and if that's the case, then hopefully against Everton we can get a full 90. What you think? I'll come on next time if you wish. All right. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Right on. We need that. If you tell a player I'm giving you 70 and they ration their energy for that, then keeping them on for 90 is a disservice. True. Give me everything. If you give me everything for 70, like if Roy's reason for taking him off at 70 was less about the plan and more about the fact that he was just gassed, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that too. Like if you're gassed, you gave it all, you went 70, cool. You know what I'm saying? But don't save it. Championship's one of the hardest leagues out there. We do not want to go down. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the hardest leagues out there to get out of. I mean, from just the sheer amount of teams alone is enough. So imagine France knew in advance about when he'd be coming off and played to that plan. Hey man, you come on some good stuff too, Mitch. Shout out to you, big bro. You come on some good stuff too, bro. Any but Edward. Okay. Oh, okay. Hey, but it's not like we can just loan academy players out. We already do a good bit. We do. So like I said, like if we were in that situation when you go down, those guys got to play. We don't need to get relegated. We need a proper coach that develops youth. Facts. Only way we can buy anyone worthwhile is getting European football. I disagree. Are you talking about the manager though, Kevin? Or are you talking about players? I'm about to say we've gotten some very, very good players without reaching European football. So are you talking about the manager? Is the only way we get a good manager worth anything is getting European football? Because at the same time, it's like I feel like that can kind of go in inverse too. It's like the only way that we can end up really seeing ourselves getting to European football is getting the right manager. I mean, when you look at guys, when you look at teams that have done that, that have achieved that. I mean, Newcastle achieved it along with extreme investment. Let me not forget that. Uh, Brighton got a really good coach that pushed them. I mean, really good manager that pushed them. So he's the issue. He's the issue. We're second guessing what the manager is doing. He made zero subs first game, plays players against advice. Yeah. After Arsenal, we have some easier fixtures until almost April. Let's chill on all that championship talk. Good point, Ty. Good point, bro. They're assuming Roy has a plan. Well, I think we've all been hoping that's the case for a long time, but cannot say so. And yeah, Kiefer says I disagree. Look at Brighton. Kiefer, is that in reference to this comment from Kevin saying that the only way we can buy anyone worthwhile is getting to European football? I mean, because like I said, I mean, I don't, especially when it comes to acquiring talent and players. I don't think we need European football to do that because a lot of teams are showing that they don't need that. You know what I'm saying? You need good recruitment. But wait a minute, okay? Ben Stinker says it right here. We need good retention and recruitment. Ambitions get good managers. So it's about the setup. You gotta have a good setup to get a good manager. Not necessarily European football, but you have a blossoming academy. You have really talented, high-level young players that are internationals on your squad. We have some good things in the mix to allure a manager, but we have some things that like look bad too. Like sometimes the inactivity in the transfer market, or you know, giving coaches what they're giving managers what they're looking for in the transfer market. I don't know how much they would care about the ownership structure, but it could be an issue as well for them too. So, did you read Texture wasn't happy with Parrish in November voting? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I mean, if I'm John Texter, I'm thinking one or two things right now, and I don't know which one he is thinking, but I'm pretty sure he's thinking one of the two. I'm either doing what I need to do to try and take this club over, whether that's swaying other owners to sell to me, or I'm getting out. They're like there's really no in between for me at this point, because the one time in recent history that we've seen real progression as far as our squad and squad building was because of what he did with his investment into the club. And he's not seeing any true decision making power or backing, whatever you want to say, anything like that. So at this point for him, it's either go all in or get the hell out. Like that's kind of like how I see it. You know what I'm saying? Because the structure that we have at the club right now, the ownership structure, it's not sustainable. It's not efficient. It's not going to uh, push us to the levels that allegedly we want to go to. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm Texter, it's like we walk. He either walks or he takes it over. And it's like you said, here, Andy. If he walks, we lose our links with other clubs. True, but right now he can't even use the links to the other clubs. So like, if he walks, it's still the same. Like, because we don't even have links to him because they won't allow him to use his connections, because people like Parrish probably don't like the multi-club setup, because he is probably complaining to the Premier League about the bigger clubs having those setups. And now he finds himself being in league with someone who has the same thing. So now you're out there contradicting yourself amongst your Premier League colleagues. So what do? Oh, well, I gotta stand on my business. And you know, I think that's the main reason why you're not seeing Crystal Palace benefit from that setup, whether it be getting guys from Botafogo or getting guys from Lyon, or God forbid we start sending some of these young guys on loan to Belgium and getting first team opportunities where they're playing actual men's football. Like, yeah, League One, it's cool, bro. I would rather send a guy to play in the Belgian First Division than to League One. Honestly, I mean, like for instance, Malcolm Ebuwe. Malcolm Ebuwe needs to go to Belgium. Like, he's the type of guy that can benefit from that. He needs to get out of the UK. He needs to learn how to be a professional. He needs to progress his game, and then he can come back and be a more effective player for the squad. But the problem is we keep sending him in England to these clubs, and it's not working out for him. Like, go let that kid be a professional. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I mean, it's a lot of good things that could come from it. Multi-club setup was what Paris voted against. Exactly. And Texas wasn't aware. We don't want to be a feeder club for Lyon, though. We're not a feeder club. I don't think we'd be a feeder club by any means. I mean, honestly, we got more money. We're in a better situation than they are. Like, we will forever be in a better situation financially than them just because of the makeup of the leagues. So I don't think you could ever say that we're their feeder. You know what I'm saying? Like, if anything, we could benefit from them just as much as they benefit from us. I mean, here we could be talking about right now in January, if we had the right setup, we could be talking about getting a guy like Ryan Cherokee over here with us. You know what I'm saying? Or the fact that guys like who we scouted, who we ended up not getting to Palace, like Skelly Alvaro, is now with Lyon rather than being with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that would dwarf us by any means. And Red, you know what, man? It's cool. Like, you can have your opinion on that. That's fine. If you don't like it, respect it. But the thing is, like, it's a reality. It's a reality. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. We sent players to Belgium already. We sent one, I believe, and it worked out for him. So why not do it again? I mean, and look what he's doing now. We end up losing him for $1 million, and now he's starting every game, day in and day out in Lyon. You know what I'm saying? Like, by all means, the process of doing what we did was aces. It came up aces. The thing that we didn't do and we weren't smart enough to do was extend his contract before sending him to Belgium. You know what I'm saying? So now he comes back to us only a year left, and he can call his shot. And now we only get $1 million for him because he's only got a year left. You know what I'm saying? We got França from the multi-club setup. No, I wouldn't say that. We got França from probably a connection from what he did in Belgium, but not necessarily multi-club, because I feel like if we got him from Botafogo, then that would be more multi-club. But I don't know. I mean, I think that there's definitely some truth to the statement, though. You know what I'm saying? But what else we got? I'm gonna do a few more before I get out of here, man. We are not a feeder yet. We don't have feeders yet. I would say that. I don't think we're going to be a feeder for anyone. Sending academy players abroad does make it harder to monitor them. Also, less likely that somebody who won't make it to the Premier League gets offers from other lower league teams. I disagree, bro. Like, look at Brighton. Like, Brighton sent Matoma as well as Samuel Adingra to Belgium. They took off. They came back. Now Matoma is worth a lot of money and he's balling. Now they got Adingra, who's a part of their first team as well. You can monitor those guys. You can monitor them very well. If it's a multi-club setup, it's easier to monitor them than if you sent them to Belgium to a team that you don't have a relationship with or you don't have ownership with. He was okay, and let me Andy, he was involved because he's down there in Brazil. And like, I'm sure like he took pictures with him and he met with him and stuff. I just meant like it's not like a true multi-club setup because we didn't get França from Botafogo. We got França from Flamengo. So like it's not like true multi-club. It's not like, you know, he came directly from like how they were talking about the one kid. What's the young striker that's down there that it was rumored that he's going to come, but he never did. I can't remember the kid's name, long-haired, young dude, striker, but it never happened. Like, if he came straight from Botafogo to us, that is definitely the setup that we're talking about. Let's see. No problem. This is a good opportunity abroad. There are reasons clubs don't like doing it. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, he's at Lyon because we're a feeder club. No, he's at Lyon because we're not a club that's not efficiently run well. If he was at if he would have, like I said, if we would have had him sign an extension prior to going to Belgium, that means that he's on a long-term contract with us. He goes to Belgium, balls out in Belgium, wins promotion, playing every match, comes back to us. Now Lyon is interested in him. Guess what? Now Lyon's got to pay 10, 12, 15 million for him. Oh, hey, that's a transaction. That's not a feeder move. That's not a feeder move because of the fact that we highly benefited off of one of our players, and then we could turn around and do that same thing to them. Like I said, we could turn around and get Rand Cherokee to come over here and play wing for us. So it's not feeder, it's more of a mutually beneficial arrangement between clubs. Now, the Belgium setup, the Botafogo setup, depending on how things go, it could be seen as a feeder. But if all sides are benefiting from it, then it's a mutually beneficial agreement. It's not a feeder. It's not like you're just giving them things like, here, just take our players, take our players. No, you're getting things back in return, financial, whether it be financial gains or players down the road. So I don't think it's that. And he's like Red said, yep, they should have extended the contract. But hey, I appreciate you all. And Mukhtar, you're right. He wanted to leave. Granted. Now, had we done what we were supposed to do with his contract before he got to the point where he was like, I want to leave, that's it, no matter what, before going to Belgium, maybe you secure his future before he gets to the point, the breaking point is like, no, I don't want to be here. I want to leave no matter what. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm gonna hop off of here, man. Hey, yo, first of all, let me just say I appreciate all of you all. Shout out to all of you for tapping in with me, for giving all of your feedback. There has been some great conversation. I appreciate every one of you. Mitch, Mukhtar, Red, Kiefer, Cody, Andy, everybody, man. Shout out to you all, Keizo, Supergirl Titan. Appreciate you all, man. I plan on only being here for 30 minutes doing this, man. And look, we're almost at an hour. So, hey, shout out to you guys. Big ups, man. Appreciate the chance to always connect with you guys. Shout out to D for tapping in with me for the time that he did. And we'll be back soon, man. The more news that comes out, the more episodes we do, man. So until then, I'll see y'all later, man, and up the palace.